Are the Chicago Bears about to hijack the entire NFL opening week with a blockbuster, primetime debut in Seattle? The league is secretly turning up the heat on the front office regarding the multi-billion-dollar stadium standoff, and time is running dangerously low. From leaked schedules to behind-the-scenes ultimatums from Roger Goodell himself, everything you thought you knew about this upcoming season is about to be completely turned upside down. If you want to stay ahead of the pack with all the most intense, breaking updates, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with a fellow fan, and subscribe right now. Let us talk about the battle plan, because the off-season schedule has officially been mapped out, and the countdown to greatness is ticking right in our ears. Right now, the team is grinding through the early stages of the off-season program. They are navigating Phase 1 and inching dangerously close to Phase 2. But the real fire, the Phase 3 OTAs, and the mandatory mini-camp, is going to be staring us in the face before we even realize it. For anyone wondering what exactly goes down behind those closed doors and what these different phases actually mean for the development of this squad, let me paint the picture for you. Phase 1 is all about the brain and the body. It is the grueling strength and conditioning sessions in the weight room where the physical foundation is poured. It is the endless cardio that tests a player's absolute physical limits. And it is the intense, mentally exhausting classroom time where the complex new offensive and defensive playbooks are being permanently etched into their minds. It is the quiet before the absolute storm. Then, the intensity ratchets up for Phase 2. The cleats finally hit the grass for on-field workouts, but there is a major catch. It is still strictly the offense operating completely independently from the defense. We are talking about team drills running on air. There are no massive linebackers trying to knock your head off just yet. It is the t-shirt and shorts environment where the absolute magic starts brewing. This is the exact moment where our new franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams, can finally start launching absolute lasers to his brand new receiving core, building that critical, unspoken chemistry that turns a good offense into a truly lethal one. After that, we crash headfirst into Phase 3, which is the massive one. We are talking about 10 total sessions of OTAs and mini-camp practices, which teams usually split up into 7 OTAs and 3 absolutely mandatory mini-camp days. Can you even begin to imagine the electricity in the air when this completely revamped roster finally steps onto the same exact field together, fully unleashed, to show the coaching staff what they are truly made of? Now, do not get this confused with the rookie mini-camp. That is a completely separate beast from the Phase 3 OTAs, and that is going to go down very soon, on May 8th and 9th. Then, the seasoned veterans join the fray for the very first block of OTAs from May 27th through the 29th. We get another 3-day chunk of OTAs after that, leading right into the heavy-hitting mandatory minicamp from June 9th through the 11th. Once the final whistle blows on June 11th, the squad will break away for about 6 agonizingly long weeks. But keep your eyes peeled around July 20th. Because that is right around the time training camp is expected to absolutely explode onto the scene, just like it did last year when rookies reported on the 19th and veterans on the 22nd. The march to Week 1 is officially, undeniably on, and the excitement surrounding this camp is going to be unlike anything we have witnessed in decades. Speaking of Week 1, brace yourselves, because a massive rumor is starting to completely catch fire, and it could change the entire landscape of the NFL's opening week. Could we actually see the new-look monsters of the Midway packing their bags and flying out to the Pacific Northwest to face the Seattle Seahawks on opening night? Now, keep in mind, opening night is actually on a Wednesday this year because the Thursday slot is already completely locked up by the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams battling it out all the way over in Australia. The legendary Mike Wilbon from ESPN's Get Up dropped a massive hint recently, and it sent absolute shockwaves through the fan base. While he was talking about how utterly brutal the upcoming schedule is, he casually mentioned that the campaign might just kick off in Seattle on Wednesday night. When you hear a heavy hitter like Wilbon say something like that, you have to stop and ask yourself, was that just a wild guess, a simple slip of the tongue, or did a high-ranking NFL executive secretly whisper something in his ear? Let us look at the pure facts and break down the board, because when you look at Seattle's list of home opponents, the viable options for a massive primetime opener are surprisingly thin. We already know the 49ers and Rams are entirely off the table because of their international trip. The Arizona Cardinals? Not a chance. The league is absolutely not going to put that matchup on a global, primetime pedestal to kick off the entire year. The Chargers are a solid team out in Los Angeles, but they just do not move the needle enough for the very first game of the entire season. The Kansas City Chiefs are always a massive threat, but the NFL is way too smart to risk Patrick Mahomes potentially not being at 100% by week 1, and they usually like to save those massive heavyweight fights for later in the year to boost television ratings during the mid-season slump. The New York Giants simply are not ready for that kind of blinding spotlight right now. So, by process of sheer elimination, you are left looking at two massive, historic franchises, the Dallas Cowboys and our guys in Chicago. And let us be brutally honest here. The league absolutely adores putting Chicago in primetime slots. We are coming off one of the most exciting, transformative off-seasons in modern history. The energy surrounding this franchise is completely off the charts. We have a dynamic, innovative offensive scheme ready to be unleashed under Matt Eberflus, and Caleb Williams is undeniably the most polarizing, highly anticipated young superstar to enter this league in a very long time, putting him on the field in Seattle to literally open up the entire NFL season. It is a total no-brainer. That game would easily draw 50 million viewers without even breaking a sweat. From a pure strategic standpoint, it is a brilliant move. If you play on Wednesday night, you essentially get a mini-bye week right out of the gate before week 2 even begins. It gives the guys extra time to heal, adapt to the speed of the professional game, and mentally prepare for the rest of the grueling schedule. I am totally sold on the idea, and the league front office would be out of their minds not to capitalize on this golden opportunity. This brings us to our question of the day, and I want you to drop your honest answers in the comments section down below right now. Do you want to see our squad take on the brutal, ear-shattering environment of Seattle in Week 1 to start the year, or would you rather them ease into the season against a much softer, more forgiving opponent? Now, as if the schedule rumors were not enough to make your head absolutely spin, we desperately need to talk about the massive elephant in the room. The stadium saga. It is turning into a high-stakes, nerve-wracking game of political chicken, and it looks like NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and the league office are finally running out of patience. They are starting to apply serious, undeniable pressure behind closed doors to get this messy situation completely resolved. Reports are flooding in that the NFL is demanding a final decision in the very near future. If you rewind your memory back to the playoffs, you will remember Goodell was spotted physically touring the potential stadium sites in person. And let us get the facts straight right now, it is a two-horse race. The decision is exclusively down to the Hammond site and the massive Arlington Heights property. Every single other option has been entirely wiped off the table. The clock is relentlessly ticking, and the pressure cooker is about to explode. According to Patrick Finley of the Chicago Sun-Times, the front office is expected to step up to the podium and deliver a massive stadium update at the NFL's quarterly meetings in Orlando on May 19th and 20th. But the multi-billion-dollar question remains, will they have officially picked a concrete site by the time that microphone turns on? Right now, there is an incredibly intense push for urgency happening down in Springfield. Governor J.B. Pritzker is heavily involved, and just last week, the House officially passed critical property tax legislation that is the absolute lifeblood of this entire megaproject. But it is not over yet. That legislation still has to survive the brutal arena of the Senate, and the team is aggressively demanding key revisions to the language before they sign their lives away. Here is where the tension reaches an absolute boiling point. The Senate officially adjourns on May 31st. The window is violently slamming shut. When those NFL owners gather in Orlando on the 19th and the 20th, the league wants this deal completely done because it unlocks the massive NFL G4 and G5 funding programs. We are talking about a program that allows the team to borrow up to $250 million in completely vital capital for stadium construction. The league is looking at the Tennessee Titans, who are throwing up a gorgeous new stadium as we speak. They are looking at the Buffalo Bills, who have massive cranes in the air right now. And they are looking at one of their absolute marquee, flagship franchises in a massive media market and screaming at them to get this building built. They are absolutely desperate to bring a Super Bowl back to the Chicagoland area, but they cannot do it until the concrete actually starts pouring. The owners want to vote on this in Orlando to fast-track the entire operation and get the shovels in the dirt. But with that brutal May 31st legislative deadline looming over everyone's heads like a dark storm cloud, there is a very real chance the politicians drag their feet, and we miss that Orlando window entirely. The sheer motivation to keep this franchise locked down in Illinois is definitely there, but the bureaucratic red tape is entirely exhausting. We as fans are absolutely sick and tired of the endless political maneuvering. We just want a world-class home for our team. The league has firmly drawn a line in the sand, essentially telling the higher-ups that the time for talking is absolutely over, and the time for action is right now. We are all praying for a final resolution so we can finally just get back to focusing strictly on the football field where this team belongs. The next few weeks are going to be a complete roller coaster of schedule leaks, legislative battles, and off-season workouts. The tension is incredibly real, the stakes have literally never been higher, and the entire football world is watching our every single move.